I don't really know that Boone is making a lot of calls. Like you're saying, he could be a puppet and just taking orders from the, analytics department upstairs. And also, I mean, he might not be a good babysitter either, in the clubhouse. Like, because Sanchez clearly isn't in line, and he doesn't play with urgency, and his awareness as to what's going on around him seems low at times. And he might be like a young Hanley Ramirez 2.0, really. And so it's just tough to tell. And I guess we can get into them right now. I mean, is there a possibility that team just turns into an absolute circus and the A's and the Mariners both pass them? Because I think right now, if the Angels win today, you don't have the Texas game up, do you, Austin?
They were winning. They were beating Oakland.
The Texas was, yeah, that's what I saw. So
okay, and now all of a sudden it's 5-4 Texas. They were down 5-1. They were up 5-1 like 2 minutes ago.
Okay,
5-4 Rangers.
Yep.
Well, if Oakland comes back to win, I think it might be down to just a 5-game difference or 5.5, no more than 6 for sure. And they're the second wild card, so if the Yankees fall, 6 or 7 games back, they're no longer a playoff team. So is that a possibility? Can Boone's inexperience and just all the chaos that can possibly be New York push them out of the playoffs?
I mean, it's possible because, obviously anything's possible, especially with New York the way it is. The injury bug can bite anyone at any time, and I think that would be the only thing that causes that to happen. But they're not exactly blowing away the wild card.
Yeah, I think that would push it over the edge. If they get an injury, like a big-time injury, then
if it was like Judge, then it would be just done.
Yeah, like Severino or Judge or Stanton or something like that would be big.
Even Chapman, honestly, but Britton helps that.
Yeah, Britton kind of fixes that issue. But, Oakland's 2 games out of the second wildcard spot right now. They have 59 wins. If they win tonight, they'll have 60. They'll be 4 back of New York and 1 back of Seattle. So
they'll be 4 back of New York tonight?
Yeah, well, in the win column.
Oh, okay. Well, that's out of whack because the Yankees are just behind right now, due to rainouts.
Because of rainouts. But in the win column, they have 64. Oakland would have 60 after tonight. So they'd be 4 or 5 out, whatever, 5.5, 4.5, whatever. But, yeah, it could happen, 100%. If this circus continues and you got Severino who struggled his last 3 starts, you got him bitching it at Gary in the middle of the game because, he allowed someone to score from second base on a pass ball.
That's bad.
Because Sanchez walked to the ball. That was basically at the batter's box. The coach's box on third base. It bounced so far, which, once again, Gary Sanchez is not a good defensive catcher. There's a liability out there. You have that going on. If you get Judge and Stanton to bump again, like they did the first month of the season, then you could fall into a lot of problems. They're 5-5 in their last 10. And the Yankees have been good against good teams recently, but the Indians got better, the Red Sox got better, and they have to play us soon. And they just split with the Indians, but almost lost 3. If they split with the Red Sox or lose 3 out of 4 of the Red Sox coming up, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And the Red Sox are going to continue to win games against bad teams. They've been doing it all year. Oakland's hot. They play great on the road. They're 33-21 on the road this year. It's a great road record. So, yes, in a long-winded way, it could definitely happen. And it could be Seattle and Oakland. And just like we talked about 3 months ago, we laughed and said, man, it would suck if we had to play Oakland in the playoffs, but they're 2 or 3 years away anyway because they would own us. It might actually happen.
Yeah, and then we'd probably face Manaea if it were us that were relegated to the wild card.
Oh, yeah, we get Manaea no matter what. Even if he pitched 100 pitches the day before, he'd come out pitching again.
Yeah, and also, it never hurts to have another reliever, especially an elite reliever like Zach Britton, but that was a move to basically block us from getting him and blocking Houston from getting him, and the Yankees have to add a starter. That should have been their number one priority because Betances is pitching like he was at his best. He's having a great season. And you got Robertson still and Chapman. So, there wasn't a huge need for for a reliever. They already had the best pen without him. So
they basically got him for free because they were all Rule 5 guys.
They were Rule 5 guys. I mean, they could have probably shifted guys around if they wanted them, but they probably couldn't hold them all. So, I mean, they needed to move them, but wouldn't you want to put those 3 and then add 2 more for like a, Blake Snell before he got hurt, or Chris Archer or something? If those guys are going anyway.
I would love them to get Archer. That looks great on paper, but
no, I don't think they're going to get him. But I just meant like a bigger package.
He's
right?
David Price Jr. though, performance-wise, and on big teams.
Yeah, he's a T out there basically.
Yeah. He doesn't have the attitude, and I actually like the kid, to be honest with you. I like him. He's funny, but
I think he's cute. I don't like him.
Really? Wow.
You know what he did? And I hate Sergio Romo too, because those are the guys that they're down 5-0 or on a team that's 25 games back, and they get a strikeout against the 7th hitter, and they freak out like they won the World Series. But if someone bat flips on them, they hit them, they yell at them, they scream at them. I mean, you look at Romo the other day. Who did he freak out on Washington because he took 3rd on him in a 7-0 game the next day?
Was it Trey Turner?
No, it was no, not Upton. It wasn't Turner.
Michael Taylor?
It was Michael Taylor, thank you. It was Taylor. And he freaked out on him. Next day, he struck him out to end the game. He chirped out on the benches, came out. He's acting all tough, walking around. They're just hypocrites, and they're just douches out there. And Chris Archer's the same way. How many times has he gotten into it with the Red Sox and started crying and yelling? He's out there, pumping himself up. He's 3 and 100 last year with like a 5 ERA. And he's out there.
Still has value.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He still has value. I just don't like the dude. Off the field's different. But on the field, him and Romo, I can't stand. I love when they get shelled. I love when they pout. And they're just the type of player that I can't stand in the MLB because they're hypocrites. They're the guys that are like, you got like McCann a couple of years ago blocking the plate on Jose
Fernandez. Yeah.
Like, dude, who do you think you are? Like Gardner. I don't want a nickname on my jersey. It should just say Gardner. That's who I am.
Like, fuck you. Get out of here.
Relax, man. I just don't like players like that, and Archer's on that list for me.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen that out of Archer too much. I know Romo has kind of been a hothead throughout his career, so no big surprise there. But
pretty much any San Francisco reliever is like that. Any former San Francisco reliever.
Yeah, they have a lot of weird egos out there.
Yeah, I'm just catching up on some tweets right now. Still nothing on J. Happ.
Pujols passed Ken Griffey Jr. tonight in home runs.
Crazy. The machine.
631.
He's a monster. And he can keep going. That's the thing.
And you know what? He's going to keep going because he has a contract and the Angels are trash. Hey, Terry, since you're catching up on some tweets and, we're looking at trade stuff here for anyone that's thinking of what we're doing, why we're doing that. We talked about on it like a month ago that the Nationals should not be buying, but not only should they be selling, but they could be selling to high-name guys like Machado. And the last couple of days, Austin sent me some texts, some real-life baseball writers, if you want to say it in quotes, that are now suggesting that Bryce Harper needs to be traded, and they need to get something for him. And, we had it first, no big deal, kind of a big deal, whatever. But more importantly, how is he not going to get traded? How are they going to let him walk? They're going to let Bryce Harper, a quote-unquote generational talent, walk for free. It's mind-blowing to me.
Well, Austin was saying, I remember that when we were talking about it, and Austin says, well, they're like the Mets. They're just too stupid, and they're just not going to make a move like that. And maybe that's true. The other dynamic in play right now is they have a GM on the hot seat who, he might get fired after this year if they don't make the playoffs. And then if you add in the fact that he, traded off the franchise player, that's going to turn the fan base against him even more. That's probably going to guarantee that he gets fired. So he's committing suicide by doing it, but it's still the right thing to do. And ownership should probably come down on him and be like, look, you have to move him. We need value here. And they're already deep anyway. They got a great farm system. They've got some young, controllable players already on their MLB roster. So it could be a fast turnaround, but I don't know. And I watched the home run derby on Sunday night because the Mets game got rained out, when the Yankees were supposed to face DeGrom and, probably get probably get shut down by him. And they went off the air at 9 or maybe it was 10, I don't remember. But then the home run derby came on. I actually watched it, and that crowd, because it was in Washington, was electric for Harper.
Yeah,
So,
they loved it.
So it's a hard move for Rizzo to do, but it's absolutely the right move, like you're saying.
And just think of the haul you could get back for him. I mean, you talk about a loaded farm system already, and you got guys like Soto up there already, who's, you know, the real deal. You know, he's on a 5. You know, he's not even on team control yet. That kid is, you know, the bottom of the barrel when it comes to making money and stuff. You got him locked up. You got Trey Turner. You know, same thing. He's got another year of team control next year before they even start arbitration. So, you know,
Robles isn't even up.
Yeah, another guy right there that's not even up yet. Imagine what you could get back. And I said it a while back, you know, a month ago I said it, maybe even 2 months ago when I was talking to Austin about it, and I think I said it on one of our podcasts, is you could trade him to a team that people think he could go to, which is Atlanta, even though it's your rival, quote-unquote, not really. But imagine just taking Acuna or someone like that back, and then next year your outfield is Adam Eaton, Soto, and Acuna. Or, you know, Albies or whoever. It could be done. Like, someone would do it.
I don't think any team would give up an Acuna, though.
Well, a team that is as well. Like, a team like Philly, a team like Atlanta, a team like, you know, San Diego's not in it, but, you know, play along with the team that has the cap space, has a need, and has the fit for him. You kind of, it's not just renting him out for, you know, 60 games. It's like, it's a 60-game tryout, and then you're almost like guaranteeing that you're going to keep them at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, you could pitch that the same way. And if you look at what Machado got, you know, on a team that's not going to re-sign him in a place that he probably doesn't even want to be. Imagine if you asked Harper, where would you want to be? He says, I want to stay in the NL East. All right, well, Atlanta it is. And he talks to him and be, hey, you guys are good. You're young. The pitchers have figured it out. Brand new ballpark. Yeah, I'll sign a $350 million contract with you guys.
A Bryce Harper trade could make up for the fuck up that was the Lucas Giolito. Whatever. Yeah, the Eaton trade, basically. Yeah, because that was a horrible deal.
Yeah, they got hosed, and that's a great point. Is that who would have thought that, you know, Lucas Giolito at the time, Lopez and Dunning would have got traded for Adam Eaton.
I thought they might have got a better package from the Nationals than what we gave for Sale. It seemed like it was close. I thought anyway.
I think they did. I think they got a better package from. They got more from Washington than they did for us for Chris Sale for the right now Cy Young and Hall of Famer. For Sale.
At the time, they gave up their number 1 and number 3 pitching prospects.
Yep. And Giolito is turning it around this year. He has control issues, but it's going to be good.
Watched him pitch the other night, and he actually looked really good, actually.
Yeah, he has. I actually picked him up on fantasy for his last 3 starts, and he's been good the last 3 starts. His ERA is through the roof this year. That's because it was at like a 9 at one point.
And a lot like the Sale deal, all it takes is for 1 or 2 of those guys to be a stud, and then all of a sudden that deal is justified.
Yep. And I think they could easily get the house. They could get a wagon for Harper, especially if he starts turning it around now and he just starts hitting bombs. I mean, you think of a team that needs a bat, and that it's a fringe team, not even a fringe team to make the playoffs, like a fringe team to win the World Series. Like Houston last year, everyone knew they was good, right? They got Verlander, you're like, oh shit. Like if he pans out, this is going to be bad. You know, you think if the Yankees got Stanton, you know, what would that be? You're looking at it now. The Red Sox get J.D. Martinez and an Ortiz-like player again. Look where we are. You know, you can get it. If you can get it, you know, Harper on a team, it's probably going to be a National League team. You know, it's scary.
I think it's going to be the Cubs.
3 top 10s.
What was that, Terry?
I think it's going to be the Cubs.
Oh, even the Cubs, yeah. He could absolutely get 3 top 10. I mean, Herrera got 10, 11, and 15 or something like that? 10, 11, and 20?
What did Machado get? Like 3...
Machado got 4. I think 10 got scratched because of a quote-unquote injury. I don't know. It's like 4, 15, 20, whatever. They got more quantity than quality there. They got the one, you know, top 5 prospect. But you got 1 top 5 for Machado. You got 2 top 11s for Herrera, of all people. And Britton got, what, a top 4 as well. I think Britton was top